Welcome to the University of Maryland School of Public Policy commencement exercises for 2019. I'm Robert Orr, the Dean of the School of Public Policy, and I am delighted to share this day with you and all the excitement and pride that comes with it. Today is a celebration of these amazing students here in front of us. Today we gather our graduate students, are what we used to call our undergrads, and today they are joined becoming the graduates of the School of Public Policy. This is also a celebration of public service. There is no higher calling, no more noble endeavor. We are very excited about the challenges, the opportunities, and the successes that we know lie in wait for our graduates. You will, graduates, quite literally change the world for the better. No pressure or anything. This is not to say that it will come easy. You enter a world and a field that is quite different than the one you entered when you first walked through our doors. Headlines scream of wars, trade wars, politics as war, or at least as blood sport. Populism and nationalism continue to take hold in more and more countries around the world with dramatic consequences. Immigrants face walls, literal and figurative, and families are torn asunder. Words like bipartisan and cooperation are used as epithets, rather than as ideals and guides. The notion of civic virtue in this environment sounds outdated, almost quaint. But you know this, graduates. You have been studying this, and you have been living this. Against this litany of woes, we have many people, especially the people in this room, who do not accept this reality, who expect better. We have public servants, bridge builders, ethical and humble people, innovators, bold thinkers, collaborators, and believers who see what the world can and should be, and who are working relentlessly to create that better world. It is true, as they say, that professors learn from their students. Graduates, we are also inspired by you, your determination, your faith in the future and each other, and the immense capacity that you bring to change the world for the better has inspired us and has inspired me to believe that the brighter future we hope for is possible and will come. That, my friends, is power, and for that we thank you. Graduates, all this pomp and circumstance is for you. You have earned this, but so too have your families. They too have worked hard and sacrificed much to see this day. So I would like the graduates to stand and give your loved ones an applause. Finally, before we proceed with the ceremony, let me make one last observation. Earlier today, just a couple hours ago, the campus-wide ceremony for the graduates was held, and at it were a group of what we affectionately call Golden Terps. These are graduates of the University of Maryland this year from 1969. I sat on the stage looking down at these Golden Terps who returned to their university 50 years later and thought about what the world looked like when they graduated. So just as all of you may be worried, rightfully, about some of the things happening in the world today, In 1969, it looked just as bad, if not worse. The Vietnam War was raging and a fact of life. In this country, race was more than a conflictual topic. It was literally causing our cities to burn around us, including Washington, D.C. We were still reeling from the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy. But in 1969, when those Golden Terps graduated, long forgotten and not in the headlines at the time, it marked the first moon landing. It marked the birth of the internet and the start of the gay rights movement, seeds of hope and change in an otherwise bleak landscape. Good policy, and indeed life, is often about taking the long view. Envision what the world can and should look like when you all come back as Golden Policy Terps in the year, wait for it, 2069. It's kind of hard to say, much less to imagine. But if you take that long view, but act now, you will have a very fulfilling career and a very fulfilling life. Plant the seeds of change now and nurture them to fruition. Make future students standing on this stage remember you fondly and your generation as the generation that made things better for them. Take inspiration from the change makers who came before you, but also give inspiration to the change makers who will come after you. We need you. We need you to be the drivers of change. And from everything we've seen, we have great confidence you will be. Each year, students select classmates to make remarks to the graduating class. This year's graduate students selected Ms. Morgan Johnson. Just from that response, you can tell why she won, right? Morgan is from Bowie, Maryland, and a Terp at heart. She earlier graduated with a BA in Government and Politics from the University of Maryland and is graduating today with a Master's in Public Policy with a focus in nonprofit management and leadership. During her time at the school, she has served as the social chair, the president of the Black Students in Public Policy organization, a student member of the Diversity and Inclusion Working Group, and a member of the Brody Student Advisory Council. Morgan credits her success at the school to the strong community of women around her. Morgan, the floor is yours.
Hi, thank you, Dean Orr. And good afternoon, and congratulations to the class of 2019. For those of you who do not know me well, I actually have terrible stage fright, and this is the first time I've spoken in front of an audience of this size. When I applied to the School of Public Policy, I not only wanted to master the ins and outs of practicing policy, but I wanted to challenge myself to become the leader and change maker that my family, my friends, and my mentors believed I could be. I had and still have big dreams to change the world around me for the better, and I'm not going to let my stage fright and shyness get in the way of that. So I began my graduate school journey by saying yes to everything. Inspired by Shonda Rhimes' book, Year of Yes, I challenged myself to say yes to anything that was outside of my comfort zone, but ultimately would lead me on a path to making my dreams a reality. I said yes to giving this speech. I said yes to joining Black Students in Public Policy as its social chair in 2017 and as its president in 2018, which has not only given me the platform to advocate for Black students within the school and shed light on policy issues affecting Black and other marginalized communities, but it has also given me lifelong friends and allies that recognize the importance of community building and making lasting change. I said yes to taking Social Identities and Pluralism with Dean Harris and Professor Borey, a class that explores how our identities impact how we interpret and execute policy. But most importantly, it taught us how vulnerability and empathy for others is crucial for policymaking. And I said yes to an amazing internship that has given me the opportunity to write my first published piece on the importance of supporting women leaders and to work every day on empowering women who look just like me to strive for bigger and better, even in the face of adversity. Saying yes has opened a world for me that I never imagined. And no longer are the days that I will allow my fear to get in my way. So to my fellow graduates, as you embark on this new journey with so many new possibilities, I challenge you to say yes. Say yes to the difficult and uncomfortable conversations. Say yes to employing empathy in your day-to-day because we know the policy world needs it. And say yes to any opportunity that may be a little frightening. Not only will you find enriching experiences, but you never know where a yes may land you in your life. Thank you, and congratulations to the class 2019.
Could I ask the audience for a yes? Yes! You have a lot of converts, Morgan. Thank you for saying yes. This year's BA in Public Policy students selected Mr. Nathan Schachter. Nathan has been a very active member on our campus and in our school, serving as the Academic Initiatives Director and Undergraduate Representative for the Policy Student Government Association, or PSGA, as a board member of the Brody Student Advisory Council, and for the Dedicated Undergrads Nurturing Kids, or DUNK initiative. In his free time, which I'm having a hard time believing he really had, but in his free time, Nathan enjoys watching sports, a good round of golf, and spending time with friends. Nathan, the floor is yours.
It is such an honor to be selected as the undergraduate commencement speaker for the School Public Policy class of 2019. I would like to thank the entire undergraduate senior class for nominating me to speak on their behalf. I would also like to thank Dean Orr, Dean Harris, and all the other esteemed deans, faculty members, and staff for being here today. But most importantly, I would like to thank my parents for their continued support. And to the class of 2019, we finally did it. Seems like just yesterday, each of us came to campus with our heads held high, hoping to achieve academic success and meet friends for life. Congratulations on being the second graduating undergraduate class from the School of Public Policy. This is a huge achievement and something we should all be very proud of. The next 2 years will be strewn with intense political debate. As of last week, 23 Democrats and 2 Republicans have announced they're running for president. All have different backgrounds, different views of the trajectory of our country, and have different ideas of the best way to lead our country. Regardless of whom you support, I believe it is crucial that we all acknowledge how incredible our democracy is. We live in a country where age, political belief, sex, wealth, lineage, or experience do not determine who will lead us. Rather, it's through a political process, which gets messy at times, where citizens vote. We choose who will lead our country. Among our graduating class, political views span across the entire political spectrum. Our different beliefs on the role of government have led to interesting discussions in lecture. Different opinions on taxes and economic policy have led to heated debates about capitalism and inequality. Some of us believe in the expansion of entitlements and others do not. Some want to see the Warriors win the championship again, and others do not. Some think KD will end up on the Knicks if they do. Regardless of these differences, these debates are healthy. Asking the tough questions and challenging our peers respectfully is the core of the democratic process. The mutual respect all of us has for each other is what allows these debates to be effective. Not once, in all the classes I've been in, each and every one of you, have these debates led to personal attacks. We have remained civil and listened to the arguments of our peers, even if we disagreed with them. We never judged our classmates for their beliefs, what they looked like, or how they sound. This respect is something we should all live by, wherever our professional and personal lives take us. Civil discourse is crucial and is up to us to lead by example. At the end of the day, each and every one of us wants to make the community and the people around us better. Our commitment to our beliefs and political process spans far beyond the four walls of the classroom. Some of us are members and leaders of organizations on campus such as Greek Life, PSGA, the Dean's Advisory Council, College Democrats and Republicans, Hillel, and other religious institutions. We join these groups to meet people and better the community around us. Many of us have also had the opportunity to work for senators, members of Congress, local and state officials, political campaigns, the federal government, nonprofit organizations, and corporations. We as a group are diverse and passionate. We take our beliefs and ideas and we put them to action. We are engaged. We are part of the political process. My message to my fellow classmates are simple. Continue to be engaged about policy, but continue to do it respectfully. We all know the divisions in the country are the worst they've been in years. It's almost as bad as the Phoenix Suns last season. But be someone who aims to unify us as a people. Help someone by lending a hand. Do this when times are easy, but most importantly, do this when times are tough. President John F. Kennedy, when announcing the space program, said, "We choose to do this, and other things, not because they're easy, but because they are hard." We all chose to be in the School of Public Policy because we want to be a part of the change, even when times are tough. I'll leave you with a quote from Senator John McCain. "Americans never quit. We never surrender. We never hide from history. We make history." Continue to pursue your passions. Continue to be engaged in policy. Continue to challenge others respectfully, and continue to be yourself. All of us graduating here today will make history. Congratulations, class of 2019.
Many of our graduates have been the recipients of special awards or honors. They have distinguished themselves during their tenure at the school as public leaders, activists, and scholars. Professor Mac Destler has served as a professor of public policy in the school since 1987, before nearly all of our graduates were even born. He specializes in the politics and processes of U.S. foreign policy making and trade. In his years at the school, Professor Destler has served as interim dean twice, as the director of the school's Center for International and Security Studies at Maryland, and as the head of the school's International and Security and Economic Policy specialization. Just last month, Professor Destler was presented with the school's Lifetime Achievement Award, a most deserved accolade. He joins today's graduates in completing his formal time at the school, but also like today's graduates, he is expected to frequently participate. And Mac, I want you to pay attention to this. He is expected to frequently participate in the school's activities for years to come. Professor Destler.
Thank you very much, Dean Orr. It has been an honor to be here for 32 years, and I have no intention of running away now. I would like to introduce three groups of students who have won particular awards. Latin honors are among the highest honors given to undergraduate students upon graduation. Summa cum laude is awarded to students who have GPA within the highest 2% of those within the University of Maryland, while magna cum laude is awarded to the next highest 3%. We are delighted that 10 of our graduates earned the magna cum laude distinction. Please stand as I call your names. Amelia Albrecht. Maybe I should ask that you hold your applause till the group is finished, otherwise we'll have it take a long time. Leah Barteldis. Mia Carmel. Elise Johnson. John Myers. Nicole Pomeretz. Nathan Schachter. Madeline Schaefer. Jacob Stillman. Sarah Wolf. And earning the highest honor, summa cum laude, is Emma Ridgway. Congratulations, Ms. Ridgway. Next, we honor the graduates who have been inducted into the Pi Alpha Alpha National Honor Society. This honor society encourages and recognizes outstanding scholarship and accomplishment in public policy and administration education, as well as integrity, professionalism, and effective performance in the conduct of government and related public service activity. Only students and graduates meeting the highest academic standards are invited into Pi Alpha Alpha. I am delighted to recognize the students from this year's School of Public Policy graduating class who have been so honored. Please hold your applause until each name is announced. The PIA Honor Society inductees among this year's graduate are Jenna Bauer. Please stand. Stacy Brown, Jessica Freck, Patrick Gallagher, Deidre Hunter, David Klabanoff, sorry, he's my student, I shouldn't mispronounce his name. John Myers, Emma Ridgway, Nation Schachter, Patricia Voss, Zhang Ying. And last but not least, the Presidential Management Fellows Program was established by executive order in 1977 to attract to the federal service outstanding individuals from a wide variety of academic disciplines who are particularly skilled in the analysis and management of public policies and programs. Fellows are selected through a highly competitive national process. The extraordinary nature of the students who come to the school is reflected in the fact that this year's Presidential Management Fellows class boasts five Presidential Management Fellows. This year's Presidential Management Fellows are Jenna Bauer, Stacy Brown, Simona Griffith, Anjali Kalaria, Aria Skirti. Congratulations to you all.
It is now my great pleasure to introduce today's commencement speaker, Mr. Jazz Lewis. Mr. Lewis currently represents Maryland's 24th Legislative District in the state's House of Delegates, where he serves on the House Judiciary Committee. He also serves as the Vice Chair of the Maryland House Democratic Caucus, as well as Executive Director of Congressman Steny Hoyer's Maryland Political Organization. A scant 5 years ago, Delegate Lewis sat where all of you now sit. He too wondered, what comes next? Boy, did he answer that question. As Dean, I not only respect Delegate Lewis, I deeply appreciate him. He has always answered the call when his school needs him. He has also served as a very effective mentor to many of our students and graduates. Even standing in line today, he was brainstorming with me about what more we could do to help our students plug in to the service opportunities in this county and in this state. Finally, I can confirm that Delegate Lewis's first name is spelled J-A-Z-Z, but don't you dare think of him as smooth jazz. He is one part Coltrane and one part Ellington. Delegate Lewis, the floor is yours.
Well, with that introduction, right? Well, first things first, I'm a public servant, so sorry to disappoint. I won't be paying for anyone's student loans. We can set the expectations low. Sorry, wish I could though. Thank you, Dean Orr, for that kind introduction and for this honor to welcome the class of 2019. Congratulations to you all. And thank you to the spouses, the partners, the children, parents, grandparents, siblings, and friends who are here and helped our graduates reach this day. Thank you to the faculty, staff, and administration for serving as mentors, advisors, and counselors to prepare the class for what comes next. 5 short years ago, I sat where you sit now, and during my commencement, I had the great fortune of being heard by Majority Leader Congressman Steny Hoyer, who addressed our class, which was a particularly special honor for me because a week before commencement, he offered me a job. And he gave me a shout out during commencement, which was a plus. But he made a couple points that was very memorable for me for obvious reasons. I remembered them. During Mr. Hoyer's remarks, he spoke about how when he graduated law school in 1966, the minimum wage at the time was $1.25 an hour, and how that though now the national minimum wage is $7.25 an hour, in 1966 dollars, it would be equivalent to 99 cents an hour. A clear indication that wages has not kept up with costs over time. He spoke about how there were too few women and absolutely no minorities in his law class when he graduated, and that though the moral arc of the universe is long, it does indeed bend towards justice. His overarching message was that though the school had prepared you to lead, it was up to you to live out the do good challenge and be thoughtful actors in the world. My message is going to be just a little bit different. My message, in honor to anyone who's ever studied President Theodore Roosevelt, is for you all to get action. President Roosevelt was consumed with getting things done, and I believe in today's time, we need to channel our inner Teddy, so to speak. As an undergraduate here on campus, I came here at a time, and Professor Littlefield and Professor Crocker, who also taught me during undergrad, can attest to this. I was here when the recession had just hit, and I was part of a group of students that marched on the main administration building with other concerned students because of proposed tuition hikes and because we feared that non-tenured faculty would be laid off. As I'm sure many of you are aware, non-tenured faculty are more likely to be persons of color or women and can make all the difference in the world to students who are people of color or women in feeling welcome on this campus. We didn't ask for permission, we just took it. And as a result of 1,000 students showing up and demanding action, the president's office was forced into negotiating with us. Through all a continuation of direct action, majority of the faculty was able to stay and tuition was frozen so that none of us would price out of our education. As a young legislator of color, I was proud to be elected as part of a wave of new voices that burst through the glass ceiling to create the most diverse legislature in the state of Maryland's history, which I was pretty happy about. Currently, in our Democratic caucus, there's 99 of us, which is the first time it's been this many in about 10 years. But of the 99 within the Democratic caucus, 53 are folks of color, be that African American, Asian Pacific Islander, Latino, of any race, and 51 of the 99 are women. So taps off to the ladies. Yeah, hats off. None of us asked for permission to run. We saw a need and answered the call to get things done. And now I work with my colleagues, labor unions, racial equity advocates to draft and push legislation that ends cycles of poverty through increased wages, new supports for small businesses, and criminal justice reform. The need for action is extreme and urgent. Climate change is rapidly escalating out of control, possibly damning your future and the future of your children. Even though the U.S. only makes up 5% of the world population, we have 25% of the world's prison population, which means that 1 out of every 3 black boys who may or may not be in this room can expect to go to prison in his or her lifetime, as can 1 of every 6 Latino boys, as compared to 1 out of every 17 Latino males. And just so you know, the fastest growing prison population right now are women of color. When Mr. Hoyer graduated in 1966, our gross federal debt was $328 billion, which in today's dollars would be about $2.6 trillion. In effect, though, today we're at over 22 trillion. While national high school graduation rates have continued to rise, readiness for life has fallen behind. As reported by the ACT, only 38% of high school graduates last year were college or career ready. In 1966, there were two superpowers in the USSR and the United States. And now in 2019, there's one primary superpower with many non-state actors and regional powers vying for positions and resources. The world you are entering as newly minted graduates is complicated, but so long as you are committed to stepping up to the plate and seizing your moment in history, you'll be prepared for it. The challenges of today require those who engage in policymaking not only to be good leaders, but good listeners, not merely to care about issues, but also to address them carefully and acknowledge their complexities. As I look out at each and every one of you and think about the promise of our generation, I see much cause for hope that reason and principle will continue to serve as your guide, be it working at the local, state, national, international, or non-governmental level. The growing diversity among our policymakers in both background and beliefs makes America stronger as we face the challenges ahead of us. We must push back against those who would use diversity and create division or to distract us from what ails us all, which is the suffering human condition. In Annapolis, I don't care if my colleagues are conservative, libertarian, or democratic socialists. I work with those committed to making sure mothers get a helping hand, citizens returning from incarceration get a second shot, and that we create new pathways to support businesses that not only help our economy, but also help our society. Our generation, the most interconnected in human history, has the advantage of seeing more of the world up close than any generation before it. But as our world shrinks, our responsibility to do good in it grows. Even now, as was the case in the last century and for centuries before that, the awareness of injustice or suffering too often does not lead to action. In the 21st century, however, one cannot plead ignorance of justice or pain on the other side of the room or the other side of the world. The moment that something happens, your phone or watch vibrates, notifying you of the latest tweet, post, or action anywhere in the globe. So I implore you, in each of your own lives and careers, to commit to getting action by lending your time, your energy, and your effort to the challenges of the day. So in the words of President Roosevelt, get action, do things, be sane, don't fritter away your time, create, act, take place wherever you are, and be somebody. Congratulations and Godspeed.
It is now the moment you all have been waiting for, graduation. We'll begin with the students who have been receiving the university's highest degree, the Doctor of Philosophy. To introduce our PhD graduates, let me introduce the director of our doctoral program, Robert Sprinkle. Professor Sprinkle holds 2 doctorate degrees, a PhD from Princeton's Woodrow Wilson School in Public and International Affairs, and an MD from the University of Cincinnati. He specializes in clinical medicine, bioethics, health policy, bioengineering, environmental policy, political theory, and biosecurity, just to name a few. Professor Sprinkle.
Thank you very much, Dean Orr. The PhD is a research degree. You earn it by producing original research that, in our field, selects a problem and tries to solve it. This research is generally on the scale of a book and is called a dissertation. We have 7 people this year who have recently survived this process, which is life-changing. It is life-improving when it's over, but not until then. So I'm going to ask them to come up one at a time. Andrew Joseph Glubzinski, please come to the stage. A.J. Glubzinski, Captain, U.S. Army. And before that, previously captain of the West Point soccer team and first-team All-American scholar athlete. And during 2 tours in Afghanistan, the recipient of 2 Bronze Stars. Chairing AJ's dissertation committee was Professor Phil Swagel, named last week to direct the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO. AJ asked how development assistance affected It's all right. There's been a lot on his mind. But, AJ asked how development assistance affected counterinsurgency efforts and found that counterinsurgents, such as coalition forces fighting the Taliban, must be willing to take risks and demonstrate their commitment, otherwise development assistance won't work. But risk and commitment were related in complex and non-obvious ways. AJ has been named an Army strategist, and this fall will join the Department of Social Sciences at his alma mater, West Point. Professor Swagel will now award the doctoral hood. Lin Lang, her. Lin Lang came to North America first as a flute soloist and then as a student, earning degrees at McGill University in Montreal and Brown University in Providence. She came to Maryland to study with her advisor, Professor Nathan Hultman, director of the Center for Global Sustainability. Do regional integration plans promote joint prevention and control of air pollution, she asked, drawing lessons from China's major city clusters, in one of which was her hometown. It's there where collaborative environmental management is being tried on an epic scale. Did it work? Well, Lin Lang's answer was a perfectly respectable answer. Maybe. Lin Lang will next work as a postdoctoral fellow in environmental science and policy at Michigan State University. Professor Hultman will now award the doctoral hood. Siobhan Kerr. Siobhan came to us from New Brunswick, Canada, by way of St. John's, Newfoundland, and Waterloo, Ontario. Chairing her dissertation committee was Professor Anand Patwardhan. Siobhan's research examined post-hurricane recovery in the United States, Canada being a little devoid of hurricanes, finding new ways of conceptualizing and quantifying recovery, emphasizing neighborhood characteristics and community engagement, not what you ordinarily think about first in hurricanes. Immediately after defending her dissertation, Siobhan began a Canadian federal government civil service career as economic policy analyst at the Department of Innovation, Science, and Economic Development in Ottawa, but she flew back to Maryland to graduate with her friends. It's true. I just report the news, I don't make it. Professor Warden will now award the doctoral hood. Professor Warden has many other abilities. Erika Lee. Erika came to us from Amherst College, initially to earn a master's degree, and then years later to earn a PhD. Chairing her dissertation committee was Professor Peter Reuter, co-winner with a former president of Switzerland of the 2019 Stockholm Prize. Professor Reuter, though, last seen by Skype, is in Africa. Erika studied Maryland's monetary incentives to improve childcare, finding, contrary to common expectations, that pay for performance didn't really make much difference. Erika will continue as education research analyst in the Office of Planning, Evaluation, and Policy Development in the U.S. Department of Education, a position she began as a presidential management fellow. Professor Foreman, in Professor Reuter's absence, Professor Foreman will now award the doctoral hood. Monica Lambana. Monica came to us from Bogota, Colombia, by way of Penn State and Brandeis University. Chairing Monica's dissertation committee was Professor Philip Schwegel. Monica examined free trade negotiations between the United States and two very close but very different Andean states, Peru and Colombia, finding significant contrasts in process and outcomes. After commencement, Monica will fly back to Seattle, where she's now teaching at Northwest University. Professor Schwegel will now award the doctoral hood. Elizabeth McLaren. Elizabeth came to the University of Maryland quite a while ago, earning 4 degrees already, and today adding a 5th, the PhD. Chairing Elizabeth's dissertation committee was Professor Alan Schick, upon whose retirement chairing duties were taken up by Professor Philip Joyce, author of the first book ever written about the Congressional Budget Office. Phil Schwegel is now reading Phil Joyce's book, and he rates it excellent. Elizabeth analyzed the value of federal budget decisions and found them, this is her term, fragile, clearly unable to bear the weight of expectations placed upon them. Elizabeth now serves the Montgomery County Public Schools and Humanity. Right. As an interventional and, pardon me, I'm a pediatrician, so I take this seriously, and special education paraeducator. Professor Joyce will now award the doctoral hood. Ayob Takaline Tolina. Ayob came to us from Ethiopia to study political and economic development in poor countries. Co-chairing Ayob's dissertation committee were Professors David Crocker and Mac Destler. Ayob studied Ethiopia's industrial policy, finding inadequate the standard emphasis on material incentives and constraints, and in addition, emphasizing fairness, equity, citizen rights, participatory institutions, and civil society. In essence, emphasizing a moral economy, not just a material one. Ayob will take his PhD back to Addis Ababa, where he serves as state minister in the Ethiopian Ministry of Finance, with enormous high-level responsibilities, including oversight of Ethiopian Airlines. Professor Crocker will now award the doctoral hood. That's right. That's right. There you go. Okay. Dr. Glubzinski, Dr. He, Dr. Kerr, Dr. Lee, Dr. Lambana, Dr. McLaren, and Dr. Tolina, we welcome you heartily into the company of scholars.
Congratulations and well done to our newly minted doctors. We will now honor our outstanding master's class of 2019. Will the master's class of 2019 please rise and approach the stage?
The candidates for the Master of Public Policy are Tawny Alston, Aaron Anderson, Sean Avendano, Jordan Bear, Jenna Bauer, Ashlyn Tierra Bell, Jory Bell, Leanne Byrne, Alyssa Bertoni, Adam Bloom Pykopoulos, Anastasia Brown, Daria Brown, Derek, Alifnaz Kaliskan, Raquel Judith Contreras. Colleen Cook. Samuel Crystal. Alexander Cullen. Danielle Curett. Aiden Delisle. Marquita Devane. Amanda Dew. Robert Doherty. Joseph Drake. Nicole Ng. Jessica Freck. Alexandra Gobitzer. Wei Gua. Jesse Graves. Madison Gray. Tessa Gaitan. Ye Go. Amberly Holcomb. Andrea Huckleby. Zebra Deidre Hunter. Morgan Johnson. Anjali Kalaria. David Klabanoff. Thomas Kovarik. Wojciech Kravchik. Angie Liu Wong. Jacob Lohner. Jesse Lubov. Jane Lyons. Michael Maiden. James Moores. Yasara Pereira. Bosun Chu. Samuel Quest. Lindsay Rand. Jesse Rao. Borchu Saralu. Florencia Sanchez Zunino. Ariana Skirty. Zachary Siegel. Samantha Scheimer. Zoe Spears. Erika Simons. Aisha Taher. Princia Voss. Edward Walsh. Caleb Weiss. Chenyue Young. Sarah Eunice. Ying Zheng. Yitong Zong. Sinya Zheng. The candidates for the Master of Public Management are Ozzy Angrish, Christina Bunch, Kelsey Driscoll, Astrid Garcia, Russell King, Yewande Oshodi, Chiffon Sierra Watkins, the candidates for the Master of Professional Studies in Public Administration are Shuting Huang, Ji Shu,
The candidates for Bachelor of Arts in Public Policy, please rise. Come down here. I'm proud to announce that candidates for Bachelor of Arts in Public Policy are Amelia Marie Albrecht, John Ankowitz, Mariella Laverne Argueta, Leah Rose Barteldes. Mia Claire Carmel. Christopher John Darpa. Elise Catherine Johnson. John Dylan Myers. Nicole Sarah Pomerantz. Richard Alexander Purcell. Emma Howard Ridgway. Jacob Alexander Salzberg. Nathan Saul Schachter. Madeline Shore Schaefer.
Thank you so much.
Caitlin Jo Smith. Alicia Soak. Jacob Ezra Stillman. Meredith Farsani. Sarah Ginsburg Wolf. Yang Yang.
By tradition, there is one last step graduates must take before they are truly alumni. Morgan and Nathan, will you please return to the stage to lead your peers in this one last critical action?
Stand up, everyone. You can say it.
And please turn your tassels to the left.
Yeah. It's going very well. Very well. Is that right? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our formal commencement ceremony. Family and friends, please remain seated until the platform party and graduates have recessed. Graduates, after you recess, please move to the large staircase just outside so that we can take pictures of all the newly minted graduates. We will then ask faculty to join you. So work with us just one last time. We will get these photos done. Once again, a heartfelt congratulations to all our graduates and their families and friends.